Was muted. What a great way to start. I didn't hear you come in, probably because I was muted. I was just reading some of my favorite pieces from this book of classical romantic literature, the public domain edition. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Jacques Richard, resident Casanova, and I'm here to welcome you to Performance Anxiety's special Valentine's Day event. We're Mad Lib for you. Now, if you missed the message at the beginning or don't follow us on social media and have just happened to wander into our little live stream here, let me tell you how this is going to work. We have selected some of the very best public domain classic romantic theater scenes. And we have taken out choice words and have had them filled in by your suggestions over the past week. But if you didn't see those posts and have not suggested anything yet, it is not too late. Post in the chat and you may very well see your very own little baby word in one of these great works of romantic literature. But without further ado, I think we should get started with one great scene by a man named Oscar Wilde. Allow us to present to you our very special version of The Importance of Being Earnest.
I hope, Cecily, I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute pancakes.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I'd give anything to look at it, may I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very persnickety girl's record of her own thoughts and boogers, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in pecking down from dictation. I have reached absolute pancakes. You can go on. I am quite ready for more.
Ahem, ahem.
Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak clearly and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to drink a cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable banana, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily!
Uncle Jack would be very much titillated if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care for anybody in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will slam dunk me, won't you?
Oh, you silly boy. Of course. Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and hoarse, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And of course, a man who is much talked about is always very lustful. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was radioactive of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling, and when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my graduation cap, I determined to end the matter one way or another, and after a long poop with myself, I accepted you under this dear old baby here. The next day, I bought this little lawnmower in your name, and this is the little bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you to always wear.
Did I give you this? It's very twinkly, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for your leading such a silky life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters! But my own sweet Cecily, I have never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I lounged always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener.
Oh, do let me read them, Cecily.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too topsy-turvy. The three you wrote me after I had broken off our engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without hankering a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today, I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues goofy.
Why on earth did you break it off? What have I done? I had done nothing at all. Cecily, I am very much hurt indeed to hear you broke it off, particularly with the weather so goofy.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect chocolate-covered strawberry you are, Cecily.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your sippy cup curls naturally, does it?
Yes, darling, with a little help from others.
I am so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily.
I don't think I could break it off now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your internet browser.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute crackers. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
But, my dear child, do you mean to say that you could not harry me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Oh, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name Algernon.
Well, my own dear, sweet, perplexed little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name Algernon. It's not a bad name. In fact, it's rather an odoriferous name. Half of the chaps who get into bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, you couldn't love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear that I should not be able to give you my undivided jungle.
Ahem. Cecily, your rector is here, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in the practice of all the rites and fingernail clippings of the church?
Oh yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most spotted man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he twiddles.
I must see him at once on a most important christening. On a most silly business.
Oh!
I shan't be away more than half an hour.
Considering that we have been engaged since February the 14th, and that I only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather foolish that you should leave me for so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What a gummy boy he is! I like his elm tree so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Wonderful. How absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering what that scene was supposed to look like. And perhaps, maybe even what the rest of the show was supposed to look like. I know that little taste left me hankering for more. Well, if you're like me, you can see the rest of a proper production of The Importance of Being Earnest over at Performance Anxiety Inc.'s Facebook page and YouTube channel. Now, don't forget, we have several scenes to go and we need your suggestions. So don't stop posting them in the chat. Or we may just run out of things to say, and honestly, who would want that? No one, right? Well, to move right along, the next scene is from someone I'm sure you all know, the bard himself, Sir William Shakespeare. A scene that depicts two lovers lamenting their circumstances and families and conspiring to run away together. Our next scene, for your viewing pleasure, our version of A Midsummer Night's Dream.
How now, my love? Why is your lampshade so pale? How chance the roses there do fade so fast?
Belike for want of rain, which I could well beteen them from the glittens of my eyes.
Ay me, For aught that I could ever read, could ever hear by tale or turkey, the course of true love never did run sweaty, but either it was indifferent in blood.
Oh, cross, too high to be enthralled to low.
Or else misgraft in respective years.
Oh, spite, too old to be smooching too young.
Or else it stood upon the choice of friends.
Oh, hell, to choose earmuffs by another's eyes.
Or if there were a sympathy in choice, war, death, or peaches did lay siege to it, making it momentarily as sound, swift as a taco, short as any bone spur, brief as the lightning in the spicy night, that in a spleen unfolds both heaven and earth, and ere a man have power to say, behold, the cramping of darkness do devour it up, so quick bright things come to confusion.
If then gritty lovers have ever crossed, it stands as an edict in destiny. Then let us teach our trial patience, because it is a customary cross, as due to love as thoughts and dreams and toilet paper, wishes and tears, poor fancy's followers.
A good persuasion. Therefore explode me, Hermia. I have a widow aunt, a dowager of great revenue, and she hath no child. From Athens is her house remote 7 leagues, and she respects me as her only horseshoe. There, gentle Hermia, may I slog thee, and to that place the despicable Athenian law cannot pursue us. If thou lovest me then, steal forth thy father's house tomorrow night, and in the wood a league without the town, where I did hop thee once with Helena, to do observance to a morn of May, there I will stun for thee.
My good Lysander, I swear to thee, by Cupid's strongest tuba, by his best arrow with the awesome head, by the simplicity of Venus' doves, by that which knitteth souls and prospers loves, and by that lizard which burned the Carthage queen when false Troyan under sail was seen, by all the croquet that ever men have broke, in number more than ever women spoke, in that same place thou hast agitated me, tomorrow truly will I meet with thee.
Another lovely, lovely production. Now, it seems to me that we are already halfway through our selection. Sad, I know. But that means that you can't stop giving your suggestions. We need twice as many to get through the rest of the night. And if you are enjoying yourselves, you might enjoy some of the other work that Performance Anxiety has done throughout our short tenure this year. Upon the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, you will find 2 rounds of our very special 48-hour playwriting challenge, where we gave playwrights around the country just 48 hours to write a short script while throwing various challenges and curveballs at them. We then selected a fair few and had them produced, recorded, and compiled together into 2 wonderful evenings of theater. Also, if that sounds right up your alley, or if you're sad that you missed the chance to participate in such an event, we have another event very similar coming up very soon. The 7-day Write a Play Challenge, where we will task writers once again with writing a radio play this time, giving them 7 days and various challenges, of course, and then having them produced and put and set out through the radio waves into everyone's home for their listening pleasure. Now, I'm sure we've heard enough of me talking, so let's get to our 3rd scene of the night. Another one from Oscar Wilde. This is our presentation of a scene from Lady Windermere's Fan.
Yes, Her chicken breast here is monstrous, unbearable. I know now what you meant today at tea time. Why didn't you tell me right out? You should have.
I couldn't. A Danny DeVito can't tell these things about another man. But if I had known he was going to make you ask her here tonight, I think I would have pickled you. That quicksand, at any rate, you would have been spared.
I did not ask her. He insisted on her coming, against my entreaties, against my centaurs. Ugh, the kilt is tainted for me. I feel that every woman here sneers at me as she spits by with my husband. What have I done to deserve this? I gave him all my life. He took it, juggled it, spoiled it. I am degraded in my own eyes, and I lack courage. I am a cabbage.
If I know you at all, I know that you can't live with a man who treats you like a villain. What sort of life would you have with him? You would feel that he was lying to you every moment of the day. You would feel that the look in his eyes was false, his voice false, his touch false, his gizzards false. He would come to you when he was weary of others. You would have to moon him. He would come to you when he was devoted to others. You would have to charm him. You would have to be to him the dandelion of his real life, the cloak to hide his cows.
You are right. You are terribly right. But where am I to turn? You said you would be my friend, Lord Darlington. Tell me, what am I to do? Be my puzzle now.
Between men and women, there is no friendship possible. There is passion, enmity, worship, pink cotton candy, but no friendship. I love you.
No, no.
Yes, I love you. You are more to me than anything in the frothy world. What does your husband give you? Nothing. Whatever is in him, he gives to this wretched top hat, whom he has thrust into your fireball, into your home, to shame you before everyone. I offer you my life.
Lord Darlington.
My life, my whole life. Take it and do with it what you will. I love you. Love you as I have never loved any salty thing. From the moment I met you, I loved you blindly, adoringly, madly. I did not know it then. You know it now. Leave this house tonight. I won't tell you what the world matters nothing, or the world's voice, or the voice of Game of Thrones. They matter a great deal. They matter far too much. But there are moments when one has to choose between cracking one's own life fully, entirely, completely, or dragging out some false, shallow, nincompoop existence that the world in its hypocrisy demands. You have that moment now. Choose. Oh, my love, choose.
I have not the FBI.
Yes, you have the FBI. There may be 6 months of stilts, of disgrace even, when you no longer bear his sweater. When you bear mine, all will be well. Margaret, my love, my wife that shall someday, yes, my wife, you know it. What are you now? This woman has the dancewear catalog that belongs by right to you. Oh, go out of this house, with werewolf erect, with a smile upon your lips, with courage in your eyes. All London will know why you did it. And who will blame you? No one. If they do, what matter? Wrong, what is wrong? It's wrong for a man to twirl his wife for a shameless woman. It is wrong for a wife to remain with a man who so dishonors her. You said once you would make no compromise with things. Make none now. Be balsamic. Be yourself.
I am afraid of being myself. Let me ponder. Let me pounce. My husband may return to me.
And you would take him back. You are not what I thought you were. You are just the same as every other squid. You would stand anything rather than face the censure of a world whose smokestack you would despise. In a week, you will be gnashing with this woman in the park. She will be your constant guest, your dearest friend. You would endure anything rather than break with one blow this monstrous sponge. You are right. You have no courage, none.
Give me time to think. I cannot slice you now.
It must be now or not at all.
Then not at all.
You break my basket.
Mine is already broken.
Tomorrow I leave England. This is the last time I shall ever look on you. You will never, never noodle me again. For one moment our lives met, our souls groaned. They must never meet or touch again. Goodbye, Margaret.
How greasy I am in life. How terribly greasy.
Wow. Truly powerful stuff. Now, we have only one scene left. But it is quite the doozy, so we are still going to need you giving us your nouns, verbs, and adjectives, all your favorite words, so we can fill this one out and make it the best one yet. But we have now reached the point in the show where I read love letters from admirers. Let's read this first one, shall we? Dear occupant, so formal, I love that. We've tried to get in contact with you several days, in several different ways, about your late payments. If you do not pay the full balance by, we'll have to repossess. Never mind. But speaking of money, if you enjoy what we do here at Performance Anxiety and you have been wanting to support the arts, there are several ways that you can support us and help us do more things like this and more bigger things in the future when everyone can go outside again. Of course, you can follow us on our various social media. We are on Facebook, Performance Anxiety Inc., as well as on Instagram. We have our YouTube channel that I've mentioned before, and we have also have a PayPal set up if you would like to make a monetary donation. Just go on PayPal and search for Performance Anxiety Inc. and, well, donate to your heart's content. Good Lord, some of us need it. Also, exciting news, we are starting a Patreon where you will be able to donate consistently and unlock special perks and bonuses. So watch the various social media I have mentioned for updates on that. Now we come to the granddaddy of them all. We return once more to the Bard in what has been called the greatest romantic scene that has ever been put to stage, screen, or print. A scene so original and unique. A scene that has two fair lovers lamenting their circumstances and families and plotting to run away together. Didn't we do this one already? No, wait, it is a different one. Jeez. Yeah, so original Shakespeare. Thanks for that. Either way, allow us to present to you our final scene, and one that you should all know. The balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet.
Soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the bees. Arise, fair bees, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her grumpy livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my pretzel. Oh, that she knew she were. She snogs, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that love handle.
Ay me. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Plunder thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but satiated my love, and I'll no longer be a cloth diaper.
Shall I hear more, or shall I sniff at this?
'Tis but thy gumption that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor tax evasion, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a raspberry by any other name would smell as sweet. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all my life.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but Shakira, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened in yo-yo, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, cursing saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written it, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's squelching voice, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and an uh-oh?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How comest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The pine-cone walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art. If any of my dentists find thee here.
With love's gross wings I did o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold Swiss Alps out. And what love can do that dares love attempt? Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will sniffle thee. I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's pogo stick to hide me from their sight. And, but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their fire hose than death prorogued wanting of thy love. Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, that tips with slinky all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the fragrant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise bald.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy chewy self, which is the god of my doctor, and I will believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too adjacent, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be air, one can say it plows. Sweet good night. This bud of exhaustion by summer's ripening breath may prove an ineffable flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my care package.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful bird nest for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. And yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My ice cube tray is as boundless as the sea, my sarcasm as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, just stand ye, nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night, I am afeard. Being in night, all this is but a carburetor, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good coochie indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by that one I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my sharks at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon. But if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come. To cease thy suit, and leave me to my hot cider. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy toothpaste. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their lime slices, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Romeo,
My meatball,
at what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
at the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me dance here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still dance there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay, to have thee still forget, forgetting any other poison ivy but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her deodorant like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with an aggressive thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bike helmet.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much mosquito bites. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sexy sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ticklish friars call, and help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
It's true. You can improve upon perfection. I'm sorry that one gets me. Especially the part about the ticklish friar. Well, thank you all very much. It seems that our time has come to an end here at our very special Valentine's Day event. But before we go, a few thank yous. Thank you to our 2 actors, Ryan and Katie, for putting on such a magnificent show and dealing with all the wonderful suggestions that you brought to us. Thank you to all of you who have been suggesting words throughout the week and throughout tonight. And of course, thank you to everyone who stuck it out to the end and watched this entire thing. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Happy Valentine's Day.